Episode 30, New Beginnings, Part 1. The first light of dawn filtered gently through their thin curtains, casting soft golden hues across the room. Amina stirred, feeling a quiet but profound sense of anticipation. Today was different, an unmistakable sense that the journey they had endured for months was reaching a pivotal point. The obstacles, the struggles, the painstaking work, it had all led to this moment of possibility. Marco was already awake, reviewing the notes in his notebook. He looked up and smiled at Amina, mourning, ready to take the next step. Amina returned the smile, brushing a strand of her hair from her face. Yes, today feels like a beginning, not just another day. I think we are finally ready to see some of our hard work become real opportunities. After a modest breakfast of bread and tea, they set out together into the town. Marco headed toward a new client, a small workshop requiring both rewiring and optimization of old equipment. Unlike his previous jobs, this one offered the chance for a longer-term partnership with recurring work and slightly better pay. It was a direct result of the reputation he had building through persistence and reliability. Amina walked to the community center for her advanced session on small business consulting. Today's exercise involved creating actionable plans for local enterprises, combining resource management, customer service, and staff coordination. These simulations were demanding, but she felt a surge of confidence. Months of lessons, mistakes, and small successes had prepared her to apply this knowledge effectively. By mid-morning, they reunited in the courtyard for a brief break. The sun shone warmly, and the laughter of children playing nearby reminded them of the life they were building, a life of stability, opportunity, and partnership. Can you feel it? Amina asked softly, leaning against Marco. We are finally at the point where the work we've done starts turning into something tangible, real, and usable. Marco nodded. Exactly. Every repair, every lesson, every careful choice, it all leads here. Fragile at first, yes, but stronger with each day. Together we step into a new chapter. The afternoon was filled with progress. Marco completed the major rewiring at the workshop, earning praise from the owner and securing commitments for ongoing projects. Amina, after successfully presenting her consulting plan during the course, she realized that local businesses might actually hire her for advice on improving efficiency and service. Their skills and dedication were finally opening doors that at once seemed unreachable. By evening, they returned to their modest room, carrying the fruits of their labor. They cooked dinner together, sharing both food and reflections. Every small success felt like a milestone, proof that the months of struggle and perseverance were creating a life that was theirs. Amina looked at Marco, eyes eyes filled with quiet wonder. It feels like the horizon we've been reaching for is finally coming within our grasp. Marco held her hand firmly. It is fragile still, maybe, but real. And together we can turn these beginnings into a life that lasts. As night settled over the town, they sat by the window, watching the quiet streets below. Each challenge faced, each lesson learned, and every small victory had built a foundation sturdy enough to carry them forward. Fear and uncertainty remained, but hope was no longer fragile. It was tangible, growing stronger with every step they took together. That night, as they lay down to sleep, Amina whispered, "Step by step, and brick by brick, our new life is beginning." Marco kissed her forehead softly, "And we'll keep building it stronger, together every day. This is only the beginning." Part 2. The morning unfolded with quiet promise. Amina and Marco moved through the town with purpose, each step deliberate, each task a small but essential part of building the life they had envisioned. The marketplace was alive in its usual hum of activity. Merchants called out prices, children playing between stalls, and the aroma of fresh bread drifted from nearby bakeries. For outsiders, it was a normal day, but for them it was a milestone, a day where months of careful effort began to translate into tangible progress. Marco arrived at the workshop he had begun the previous day. Today, he would finalize installations, test equipment, and provide guidance on proper maintenance. Unlike previous jobs, this project offered a promise of long-term collaboration and recurring income. Every task he completed, meticulously checking wiring, ensuring the machinery functioned optimally, and explaining the setup to the owner, was a step towards professional credibility and financial stability. Meanwhile, Amina attended her consulting workshop at the community center. Today's exercise involved applying her knowledge to a simulated real-world scenario, improving efficiency, streamlining staff communication, and managing the customer complaints for a local small business. She navigated the challenges with growing confidence, drawing on lessons learned over the past months. Each solution she proposed, each plan she implemented, reinforced the idea that her skills were not just theoretical, they had practical, valuable applications. During a brief courtyard break, the two reunited. Amina shared the positive feedback she had received from the instructor, while Marco recounted the successful completion of the workshop project and the client's enthusiastic promise for future work. They exchanged insights and strategies, their partnership functioning as a quiet but powerful force. "It's happening," Amina said softly, leaning against Marco. "Our skills, our work, they're starting to create opportunities that actually matter. We are no longer just surviving, we are growing." Marco nodded, pride and quiet satisfaction evident in his eyes. Exactly. And every small step lesson every client. Each one builds towards something bigger, fragile at first, yes, but increasingly real and strong. The afternoon was a mixture of errands, planning, and preparation for incoming projects. They purchased materials for Marco's next repairs and discussed potential new clients for both his technical services and Amina's consulting ideas. Each action, each plan was intentional, reinforcing the foundation they were building. By evening, they returned to their modest room. The golden glow of the sunset filled the space, creating a sense of warmth and accomplishment. They prepared a small dinner together, reflecting on the day's successes and planning carefully for the next week. I can finally see it, Amina said quietly, looking at Marco. The life we've been working towards. It's no longer a dream, it's becoming real. Marco held her hand, his grip steady and reassuring. Fragile now, yes, but real. And together, we'll keep building it stronger every day. This is the start of something. This is the start of everything we've been worked for. As night settled over the town, they sat by the window, watching the quiet streets below. Every challenge they had faced, every lesson learned, and every small victory had led them to this moment. Fear and uncertainty still lingered, but hope was no longer fragile. It was tangible and growing stronger with each day, each project, and each shared effort. That night, as they lay down to sleep, Amina whispered, step by step, brick by brick, the life we've dreamed of is finally here within reach. Marco kissed her forehead with a quiet promise in his gesture, and together we'll make it last. Part 3. Night has settled softly over the town, wrapping the streets in quiet shadows. Inside their modest room, Amina and Marco sat together, a lantern casting a warm glow over their faces. The long day had left them exhausted, yet a quiet exhilaration lingered in the air. Today had been different, not just another day of work, but a day where months of effort began to produce concrete results. Amina leaned against Marco, her head resting on his shoulder. Can you feel it? She whispered. The life we're building, the life we'll be building. It's no longer just a plan, it is real. Marco smiled, brushing a loose strand of hair on her face. I can feel it. Every repair, every lesson, every step we took. It's all coming together. Fragile maybe, but real and stronger than ever. She closed her eyes, letting his words anchor her. The past, the fears, the doubts, they're still here, but they don't control us anymore. We are finally moving forward on our own terms. Marco noted. Exactly. Independence isn't sudden. It's made of small deliberate steps. And today we've taken one of the biggest. They shared a quiet meal of bread and tea, savoring both sustenance and the symbolism of creating the stability, partnership, purpose. Later, they sat by the window, looking out at the town bathed in the soft glow of street lights. Each challenge they had faced, each lesson learned, and every small victory had led them to this point. Outside, life moved on as usual, but inside, they had begun deconstructing a future entirely their own. Amina opened her notebook, reviewing plans for the coming months, expanding Marco's client base, developing small consulting projects for local businesses, and saving towards a slightly larger, more comfortable living space. Marco had in his notes on the new projects, efficiency improvements, and client outreach strategies. Every plan, every detail was deliberate, a break in the foundation of their independence. I'd never imagined we'd get there, Amina whispered, where our skills and persistence actually start to open doors, create opportunities, make a real future for ourselves. Marco held her hand firmly. It's fragile now, yes, but real, and together we'll keep building it stronger, day by day. This is our life, our path, and our choice. As they lay down to sleep, exhaustion mixed with quiet satisfaction, each challenge, each lesson, and every small victory become a step toward independence, stability, and a future they could finally call their own. Fear and uncertainty still existed, but hope was tangible, solid enough to carry them forward. In the quiet certainty of shared effort, love, and resilience, Amina and Marco allowed themselves to dream a life not only of survival, but of freedom, stability, and enduring happiness. Step by step,